I'm Bette Ann Libby. I actually grew up in Brookline, along with my husband grew up here, my kids grew up here, my grandparents, my parents, the whole thing. And but I did have many adventures along the way and ended up back at Brookline. And for many years, I was a potter. Now I'm a recovering potter, and I got into using mosaics and broken pottery. And I love the idea of making something whole from something that was once broken, because as a potter, when things broke, it made me really sad because I was making them from scratch, including the glazes. And but then I finally realized when I made mosaics that it was okay if something broke. And so I do give workshops, and I call it You Break It, You Make It workshop. So I've been doing that for many years, and people just love it. And most recently, I had a student who said, I really need to do this because I'm actually a therapist, but I work with people that are broken. And I love the concept that they are putting things back together, like they're putting their lives back together, making something new out of it, making something that works, that's harmonious and beautiful. So my most recent project is a group of doves, and it's called Murmuration of Peace. So I was invited to have this display at Old Frog Pond Farm in Harvard, Mass. And they're having a meditation path this year. So I started making these doves, and each dove is actually different, like different materials within the dove, and that's because all people are different. And I wanted people to think about the difference of the world and how we need to come together and have peace. And then the background of the doves are all mosaic with mirror and glass tile. So when you're seeing them now inside, but when they're outside, they're going to reflect all the light and the movement, even the leaves moving or the breeze. It's an amazing thing. It's very exciting to see your work installed when it has all that mirror in it.
And can you tell us, just like very briefly, about when you started Studios Without Walls and how long it's been going on?
Right. So when I first moved back to Brookline, I wanted to get to know people. So one thing was I went to other potters' studios and met them, and then I joined women's organizations, and then there was a group here that did Brookline Open Studios for many years. And Chobi Hoy was one of the main forces behind that. So she would have a party afterwards. So I would have this open studio right here in my studio, and I would get like maybe 20 people, maybe 25, and I did that for a few years. And then one day I was down at Allendale Farm, and John Lee from Vermont ran the farm. And he came up to me and he goes, Bette Ann, the JP artists are doing an exhibit here. And they're looking for people to do it. You should do it. They want sculpture and stuff. So I said, okay. So I enlisted myself in that group, did that exhibit. And then I immediately went to, and it was in the fall of 1998. And so I immediately went up to him after, and we had become friends. And I said, John, let's do it for Brookline Open Studios. This could be one of the venues. So he agreed. So over the 8 years that we were there, we kind of expanded it. We started with 4 artists. One, besides me, there was William Wainwright, who is a really well-known architect and sculptor, and along with his wife, Claire Wainwright, who works in fabrics, and she works with communities. So that was, to have William Wainwright come and join that as the first time thing was great, and he did it for many years. And then, so eventually I said to John, well, let's expand it for 3 weeks, because it started in April. And so we did that, and then so we kept going beyond these studios without walls. Because when I'd go to the follow-up parties at Chobe's Hoy's house, people were in these big art buildings, and they'd say, "Oh, we had 200 people," and I'm going, "This is a lot of work to get 20 people." So when we went to the farm, we got a lot more people because we got there people that are going to buy produce and stuff like that. And then I said to him, "Okay, John, I have a great idea. I'm going to hire a school bus, and the school bus will go from Coolidge Corner to Brookline Village to Allendale Farm. And that way, people don't have to drive and look for a parking space. They'll just hop on and off the bus." So we did that for a few years, and finally John said to me, after 8 years, "Bette Ann, we love the artists, we love the work, but the people aren't buying the produce. So I'm kicking you out." So, I mean, he kicked us out, and that was like, thank you, everything. And they continued to support us, but we did go to many other venues after that. For the next 2 years, we moved around to different arboretums and libraries and you name it, Brookline Art Center. You know, we were just trying things out. And then one of our artists, Liz Michaelman, came up with the idea of being at the Riverway Park across from the Languatea stop. And it happened to be the same weekend my son was getting married. So I go, "I don't know, Elizabeth, just go ahead. I'll put something in, go ahead." And it turned out to be such a hit. You know, as far as the location, it is the perfect location. I mean, so we've continued that. And so now it's our 27th year of Studios Without Walls, that's a lot. I mean, people get so excited when they see us down there walking around, scoping out the trees, and they go, "Oh, you're going to be back. I can't wait for you to be back." And then when we take the work out, they go, "Why do you have to take it down? Why does it have to be over?" But, you know, a lot of the work is it's temporary, and you know, it's made of fragile materials sometimes, and that's just, you know, the way things are. And I said, "Well, it comes out because you're going to look forward to what's going to happen next year." This is a wonderful opportunity for the community to have Studios Without Walls. You don't have to plan, you just come upon it, or you plan and you enjoy it. But 27 years, it's a long run, and I want it to keep going, because every time we take the work out, people say, "Why are you leaving us?" I say, "Come back next year." But we're ready for someone to take over the reins and to get involved and not let it go by the wayside. So come and enjoy it and let me know.